ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। So yesterday we were discussing that certain important portion which we have already studied. In that, the last portion we discussed was from verse number 33 to verse number 62 is a Jnana Yoga. The self-knowledge, and which has three parts: Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasana. And so from verse number 33 to 48 is Shravanam, and 49 to 53 is a Mananam, 54 to 62, that is the end of the chapter, that is a Nididhyasana. And we discussed also Shravanam yesterday, that is analysis of a Mahavakya, etc., with the help of Bhagatyaga Lakshana. And whatever is Mithya from both, from Jiva and from Ishvara, that we are removing it to get a Lakshyartha of both, of an individual and of Ishvara. And that is Brahman. And that is how there is a Aikyam, there is an identity between two. Now, we can discuss a little bit of Mananam also, that whatever the doubts, Mananam is basically, it's a process of making the teaching which we have received through the Shravanam, making that teaching free from doubts. That's called Mananam. And whatever the doubts that arise during Shravanam, I should keep it aside until I finish one complete cycle of scriptural study. Once the total picture basically is given, then I can raise all my doubts regarding Jiva, regarding Ishvara, regarding Jagat, regarding Maya, regarding Avidya, and regarding Prakriti, regarding Punarjanma, and all other things, several other things are also there. Vidyaranya discusses many things, even which we don't think of. Such doubts also will be there. Whether this Jnanam can occur to a person in this life or not, etc., etc. And what is this Kutastha? What is Sakshi? Is there a difference between two? What is the difference between Kutastha and Brahman? Whether there is no difference, then why they are using two words? And several things are there. He is going to discuss several things. Anyway, so all these things are there. Doubts, etc. So, and if my doubts are not resolved, I cannot go further for assimilation. That is the Nididhyasanam. And so definitely those doubts have to be resolved. And there are doubts are of two types actually. One type of doubts is interpretational doubts. Regarding the interpretation of the Upanishadic statement itself, I might have a doubt. And that this kind of doubts arise for the people who don't stick to the traditional teachers. They like Aparokshanubhuti. Suppose an example I am giving. Our traditional teacher also is teaching, and some professor, etc., may be teaching Aparokshanubhuti or something. And you will like to always see and go through that. And then when you go through, doubts are going to arise, definitely. and or else you some other teacher also, maybe not traditional. Traditional teacher will definitely solve your problem, but non-traditional teacher of Vedanta are there, many are there. And people have a habit of reading, listening, etc. And they have several doubts. And that is interpretational doubt. Now interpretational doubt are there that only can go when you stick to a traditional teacher. Otherwise they will not go. If you keep on reading like this, and then definitely the doubts will not be resolved at all. And therefore this is a one type of a doubt. And the second doubt is a logical doubt. Means they are logical doubt, means like this. This what is the difference between avidya and maya, etc. And so many other things. Why Jiva and Brahman, how can they are one? Well, Shastra says I understand the interpretation of Shastra, etc. I don't have a doubt. But in my mind I don't feel like that I am Brahman. That kind of an identity, I don't think it is very logical, etc. etc. How can a nirgunam thing is possible? When you don't find anything, have you found anything today? Till today, I'm 60 years, 70 years, we have never found a single thing without any attribute. Think of thousands and thousands of things we have used till today, right? We have never come across a single object free from attributes. And therefore, is there anything called nirgunam is there or not? Shastra says nirgunam is there, it's okay, but I am not able to accept in my mind, etc. etc. So this is a logical doubt. I don't have a doubt regarding the interpretation of Shastra, but logical doubt. And that can go with a repeated Shravanam and definitely approaching the teacher also for clarification. Then these kind of doubts can resolve. Interpretational doubts are little serious doubts. It is a very serious thing, and well, that is, we don't want to discuss that because most of our people are stick to the traditional teachers, and therefore we need not have to worry about that. And in this now in this our book, basically this Mananam is from verse number 49 to 53, and in 49 itself a doubt from a Tarka Shastra has been raised here, that that how an attribute belongs to whether an attribute basically belongs to an attributed substance or not. Well, we'll discuss that, or a attributeless substance. Because see what Tarka Shastra or Nayayika says. By the way, this, let me tell you this, in basically Indian system of philosophy, we have 12 systems there, and 6 are Astika systems and 6 are Nastika systems. Astika systems means all have a basis in Veda. At least they accept Veda as a pramana, as a supporting pramana or as a main pramana, either. Well, out of the 6 systems, basically Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, that is those who are devoted to Karmakanda portion of the Veda, and those who are devoted to the Vedanta Upanishad, the later portion of the Veda. Well, they are committed to that. We call them Vedantis. So Uttara Mimamsaka. So both are giving for both of them, Veda is a primary means of knowledge for Atma, etc., and for other things also, for Devatas, Punya Papas, etc., etc. So they give a total pramanya. What Veda says is right. Only thing for understanding, we can use our logic based taking the statements of the Veda as a real. It's taking as a pramana, basically. But other 4 systems, other than this Karmakandis and the Vedantis, there are other 4 systems, like Sankhyas, I have told you in the morning, and these Nayayikas and Vaisheshikas, etc. And those kind of systems, they Sankhya and the Sankhya and Yoga, basically. So they are also like brothers, like we and Karmakandis are, so we are also like brothers. So because we have so many things in common. That is how. So Purva Mimamsaka and Uttar Mimamsaka are like brothers. Then Sankhyas and Yoga also, Patanjali Yoga. So they are also like brothers. And this Nayayikas, I mean Nyaya Shastra and Vaisheshika's philosophy, well, they also have many things in common. I mean their philosophy has many things in common. And many aspects are common. And so basically the 6 systems of philosophy are there. All give a pramanyam to Veda, but just unlike unlike our Karmakandis and Vedantins, they don't give a total pramanyam to Veda. They give a pramanyam to their own intellect. And through reasoning, if anyway Vedic statement passes, then they accept that statement. So Veda is basically a subsidiary pramanam, means of knowledge for them. And primary means of knowledge is basically their own intellect. So we call them, all these 4, we call them as a Tarkikas. Tarkikas, those who give a pramanyam to their own intellect, Tarka. And 6 systems of Nastikas philosophy, I mean that is Buddhism and Jainism. Buddhism has 4 types of Buddhisms are there. I mean, so all these are included, and Jainism. And so 5 and 6 is our Charvakas. So they don't accept Veda as a pramanam at all, means of knowledge, for anything. And so these 6 systems of philosophy are there. Now let's go to our verse. So verse 49, now from 49 to, I told you 49 to 53 is a Mananam. And here Vidyaranya wants to take up a sample objection. Sample objection. We may have several doubts, logical doubts, but out of that he takes one sample objection for discussion, and that is raised by Nayayika and Vaisheshika philosopher. We call them a logician, Tarkika, etc. And his objection is verse number 49. What does he say? He says this Advaitam is not the ultimate truth at all, because there is no such thing as Advaitam, non-dual thing. Verse number 49. I am talking about verse number 49 right now. What is that verse number 49? Savikalpasya lakshatve lakshasyad avastuta nirvikalpasya lakshatvam na drashtam na cha sambhavi. I will explain you. I have already explained, but I will explain you again that. But before that, I want to create a background, what is told in that verse number 49. So let me tell you independently, then I will explain you the verse also. So basically he says this is a doubt created by a logician, and the doubt is raised against this Vedanti, who says everything is non-dual Brahman, nothing else. Well, it's Advayam Brahma, everything is non-dual. Everything is me, everything is Brahman, whatever. So, he says there is no such thing as Advaitam. What is available is nothing but Dvaitam only, duality or plurality, because I all the time experience this duality or plurality all the time, and so Dvaitam alone is a Satyam, there is nothing called Advaitam. I mean, that means that everything in this creation is different from everything else. That is Dvaitam. So I am experiencing so many different things in this creation. You can take anything. You take any one thing. It is different from everything else in the creation. This particular object itself. And such that way in your room, the wall is different from the chair, and chair is different from the pot, and pot is different from something else, and etc. Table. And so, this is how, things are all different. All different from each other. In our body also we clearly perceive that the eyes are different from ears, and which are different from the nose. And so anything you see in this world, basically you see only the difference. That's what they say. And so according to this Tarkika or this logician, difference is the basic attribute of every substance in this creation. Difference. What happens, this Nayayikas, they divide the entire universe into main 7 categories. They call Padartha. And every category well, have certain attributes. And so they have counted 24 attributes in this creation. Universe is divided into 7 main categories, and each category has a certain attributes. Like that, they have counted 24 attributes in the universe. One of the attribute is difference. Difference. Here Vidyaranya calls it as a vikalpaha. Vikalpaha is equal to bhedaha is equal to difference. And so difference is the basic attribute of every substance in this creation. And that's correct. See, if you take this thing, it has many attributes like this color and some shape, etc. These are all properties. Color also is one of the property attribute. Then it has a certain shape also is another attribute. And there is another attribute that is called difference. Right? This is different from this. This is different from this. Anyo anya bheda. So there is a difference. And that this is a logician. So whatever they say right now, listen to them. So the bheda itself, vikalpa or a bheda or a difference, is the attribute, basic attribute every substance possesses in the creation. That's what they say. Anyway, so in Tarka Shastra, as I told you, he enumerates 24 possibilities, attributes of the substances. And among these 24 attributes, this is one basic attribute in the substance of every substance. Means every substance is different from every other substance. Like Gata has a Pata Bheda, and Pata Bheda has a Mata Bheda, and etc. So Gata means a pot. Pot is different from the room, and room is different from the something else. I mean the cloth, and cloth is Pata means a cloth. Cloth is different from the window, and window is different from the chair. This kind of a thing. Means everything is different. So every substance possesses an attribute called difference. That's a basic attribute. And this is due to a basic attribute or guna in every substance making it, and therefore every substance is basically sagunam. Every substance is sagunam. Sagunam means what? It possesses a guna, attribute. So whether you count other attributes or not, but this attribute will be always there. What is that attribute? Basic attribute? Bheda, vikalpaha, and or difference. And therefore there is no such thing called nirguna. That's all. There is no such thing called nirguna. We don't accept, they say. We don't accept anything nirguna. Everything is sagunam, and therefore if Vedanta reveals Brahman, basically that Brahman must be sagunam. It follows then that this sagunam Brahma basically must have a basic attribute called difference. Brahman will be different from this, the Vedanta itself, because Vedanta reveals it. So there is a difference between a revealer, revealed. That difference is called revealer-revealed relationship. Like I tell you, basically I am a revealer right now, and you all are revealed, right? So let's say my eyes reveal you. So eyes and that eyes is called revealer, and you people are revealed, and they are not one. And same way, if Vedanta reveals, you say, well, Nirgunam Brahma, then definitely revealer and revealed things are different, and therefore there is a Veda, and therefore that Brahman has at least one Veda. That Nirgunam Brahma has at least one attribute, and that attribute is called Veda. That's how they say. So after whole this thing, you will feel that how Vedanta is so simple, and in other systems of philosophy, what a problem they have. And even after going through all this all these mental agonies of studying everything, such things, you won't get anything. But anyway, this is a part of Mananam, so a sample has been raised here. So we will have to go through. Sometime, we both have a prarabdha, you also and me have a prarabdha to go through some. So let's go through this. So revealer, revealed category, they are different. Different means each one possesses a Bheda. Brahman is revealed, Vedanta reveals. So Vedanta is a revealer and Brahman is revealed. And what kind of a Brahman? You say Nirgunam Brahma. Well, forget about it. If Vedanta reveals your Nirgunam Brahma, it has at least one guna, one attribute, and that attribute is a difference. Difference from what? Difference from Vedanta itself. It's a revealer. And therefore, could you follow now? I can go ahead, right? And therefore, Brahman which is revealed by the Mahavakya, etc., and which has got the revealed status is different from everything else, and that Brahman cannot be Nirgunam. It is Sagunam. At least one attribute it has, and that is Vikalpa or Bheda or a difference. Difference from what? Difference from the very Shastra, the Vedanta itself. That is, Vedanta has got a status of revealer, and your Brahman has a status of revealed. So, revealer and revealed cannot be one. So, once he established that Mahavakya reveals Sagunam Brahma, next step is to show that Sagunam Brahma cannot give liberation as per Vedanta. See where he is leading us. See, if Vedanta reveals a Brahman which cannot be Nirgunam, if it is Sagunam, then Vedanta says Sagunam Brahma, knowing Sagunam Brahma is Mithya, knowing that one cannot get liberation. Why? Why Nirgunam Brahma alone can give liberation? Yeah, Nirgunam Brahma alone give liberation. Sagunam Brahma cannot give liberation? No, it cannot give liberation. Why? Because Sagunam Brahma means it has attributes. If anything which has attributes is always limited. Remember my morning statement. Anything which has attribute is basically limited. And I want to expose myself to the Shastra to know that this self is Nirgunam. Nirgunam means what? Free from attributes. Means what? Free from all limitations and therefore limitless. And that is what I want to become. Well, I want to become in fact free. I want to make myself free from the very process of becoming. Because I know that any becoming is always limited. And therefore I want to get rid of this. And therefore somebody told me that, you expose yourself to Vedanta which will give you the knowledge of Nirgunam Brahma, which is nothing but the self that has been revealed in the Mahavakya. That Jiva is Brahman and that is Nirgunam Brahma and that is limitless. And therefore you will know the self as limitless, and so you will become free from all kinds of limitation, time limitation and place limitation and this limitation, object wise limitation. You become totally free from all limitations, free from samsara. And now, you say this Brahman which is revealed by this Shastra cannot be Nirguna. And he says us that is Sagunam Brahma, you will not be interested, right Vedanti? So we are not interested. And therefore, forget about Nirgunam Brahma. There is nothing called Nirgunam Brahma at all. Vedanta reveals, in case if Vedanta reveals Brahman, let's accept it. That Brahman will be always Sagunam only. So how can you study the Vedanta which cannot liberate you? Forget about it. So renounce Vedanta and vote for Nyaya Vaisheshika, he says. Okay. So, few years have gone, no problem, at least Punya I will get. Now onwards I won't study Upanishad. Okay. And even for the argument's sake, you accept a Nirgunam Brahma, that Nirgunam Brahma can never be revealed. Because the moment you reveal Nirgunam Brahma, it becomes under the revealed category, different from the revealer, and it becomes the very Bheda itself, difference. That Bheda itself is an attribute possessed by that Brahman, becomes Saguna. That's all. And so, I take a liberty of, eating away your brain today. But just this will not be there all the time. But some of the aspects of the Vedanta also has been discussed here. What kind of fallacies are there? In our thinking, basically what kind of fallacies can occur, that we should know very well, because we want to make our knowledge doubt-free. Anyway, so that is how, so Brahman which is revealed by the Vedanta is Sagunam Brahma, cannot be Nirguna. So we are really in a corner. We are really in a corner because the liberating, which makes us free, that Nirgunam Brahma cannot be revealed, Once you say it is revealed, then who has revealed? Shastra has revealed. Well, okay, difference. Difference is that difference itself is an attribute of the Brahman. Brahman is a revealed and Shastra is a revealer, and therefore it has a revealed status. It has a it has an attribute of a difference, Veda from the revealer, and therefore over. And okay, Vedanta reveals Sagunam Brahma, but you are not interested. He says, you have proved in several classes Sagunam Brahma is mithya. Nedam yadidam upasate, nedam yadidam upasate. Well, that is how you are telling. We are not telling. Sagunam Brahma means Ishvara. And we are very much interested in Ishvara. But you are not interested. You are saying, well, Ishvara also is a Vachyartha, etc., etc., and you drop this and Karanam, etc. from it, and Prakriti also drop. You yesterday only you told. And in Mahavakya, then you take a Lakshyartha of Ishvara, that is Brahman, and free from all attributes, etc. So, well, we are not worried. Even Shastra say reveals Sagunam Brahma, we are not worried. We will be happy. We will distribute the sweets. But you are not interested. And therefore, Sagunam Brahma is mithya for you. He is telling us. And Nirgunam Brahma cannot be revealed. If you say it is revealed, it is already become Sagunam. Abba. So this is how it is. Now go to the verse. Savikalpasya lakshatve. A Brahman endowed with that attributes of Veda. Vikalpa, I mean say Veda or difference. So Savikalpasya lakshat. Laksha means here basically revealed through Mahavakya. Mahavakya gives you Lakshartha. And what is Lakshartha? What is a Laksham? Brahman. So a Brahman endowed, it is always Savikalpa. A Brahman endowed with the attribute of Veda or a Vikalpa or a difference which is revealed through the Mahavakya. And Lakshasya Syat Avastuda. And then it becomes a Sagunam, Savikalpam. That Savikalpa or Sagunam, etc., you only are saying it is Mithya, Avastuta. Avastuta means it is Mithya. And well, which cannot reveal you, which is Mithya. Mithya cannot liberate you also. I mean, cannot reveal, I'm sorry, it cannot liberate you. Avastuta means a Mithya. Savikalpasya lakshatve, I mean, well, basically Brahman which is revealed through the Mahavakya in the Vedanta cannot be Nirgunam, it is Sagunam only, Savikalpam, etc., because it has attribute of a Veda difference, and that revealed Brahman is Vyavaharikam, it cannot liberate us, being Mithya, Avastuta. And Nirvikalpasya Lakshatvam, basically this Nirgunam Brahma, Nirvikalpa means Nirgunam. This Nirgunam Brahma can never be revealed by anyone. So Nirvikalpasya Lakshatvam. Laksham means this Brahman, and which is Nirvikalpa, Nirguna. So Nirgunam Brahma can never be can never be revealed by anyone. So Nacha Drashtam, Nacha Sambhavi. Well, Na Drashtam, Nacha Sambhavi. It is never experienced by us such a thing as a Nirgunam. And Nacha Sambhavi, it is not possible logically also. That is what his argument is. And then, well, we are ready. Nothing to worry. Vedantis have so many such kind of people in the pocket. Nothing to worry at all. So, verse number 50 and 51 basically is an answer to Nayayika. But here, what we adopt a special method. And that method is a offensive approach. Generally we defend our own position, that what you are saying is not correct, etc., etc. Nirgunam Brahma is possible, etc., and all this, that is Atma and this and that. So we defend ourselves. But here in verse 50 and 51, we take an approach of offensive approach, and we show that better you arrange your home properly. Rather, before attacking us, you arrange your home properly. You say Sagunam Brahma is reality they want to accept, not Nirgunam Brahma. No problem. No problem. Now we are going to ask you about this Savikalpa or Sagunam Brahma. You have to explain us. If you cannot explain us, and if we give you a heaps of the doshas in your explanation, if we show you, then better not, you don't attack on our home, sit in your home properly. That's what we want to say. Just in 2 verses, He will, Vidyaranya will show what a tremendous fallacy is there in his philosophy. Tremendous. In establishing Sagunam Brahma, he cannot establish. He cannot establish Sagunam Brahma. Then if he cannot establish Sagunam Brahma on which his philosophy is based, he cannot attack on our Nirgunam Brahma itself. That's what. And then we will give our answer. Verse number 52, we will show that Nirgunam Brahma is possible. That's another, that's a later. But 50 and 51 is a little different approach in which we show the fallacy in his own thinking or in his own philosophy. So verse 50 is what? Vikalpo nirvikalpasya savikalpasya va bhavet adye vyahrutihi anyatra anavastha atma shrayadayah. Vidyaranya asked a counter question to this Nayayika and Vaisheshika that, O Tarkika, O logician, you say that everything in this creation is a Sagunan Dravya. Sagunan Dravya means every substance in this creation, every object possesses attributes, Saguna. And means it is endowed with the Guna, including God also. You accept everything is Sagunam. I mean, you accept Sagunam Brahma or Ishvara, which has a lot of attributes, etc. So, and one of the attribute is this Vikalpa. Vikalpa means a Bheda, difference. So you say the difference, the attribute, that difference is there on the substance. This is how he defines. See, in his philosophy, he defines Guna and Dravya. Dravya means a substance. Guna means an attribute. He defines like that. Guna is something which is always supported in substance. Substance is something which is supporting the Guna, attributes. Like, and he gives an example, simple. Now, what is Guna and what is Dravya here? What is substance and what is attribute? Simple. Attribute is color and substance is a clip. Clip is a substance. And in that substance, what is residing? Guna, color. And therefore he says, Guna is something which is always supported by the substance called clip. Or substance is something which is supporting what? Attribute, Guna. You won't find any attribute hanging in the space. Just see, try to see. It may be a color, it may be a shape, it may be some kind of a shape, or it may be anything else. It may be a karma, action also they consider in one of the several types of karmas are there, and they also take it as attributes. All these things, all attributes, they always reside in substance. Substance is called ashraya, and the guna are called ashrita, supported. Substance is a supporting. Thus, that is what they define. So, okay, now you say everything in your philosophy, we are saying everything, because this verse 50 and 51 we are answering. Verse 49 was his doubt to us. So, according to his philosophy, attribute rests on a substance, and therefore every substance is all the time sagunam only. Right? Every substance all the time sagunam, because attribute always rests in a substance, and therefore you will never find substance without attribute, and therefore there is nothing called nirgunam for him. And that is why his main objection to the Vedantin is this about nirgunam Brahma, and the self is nirgunam Brahma, etc., and that alone gives moksha, and that is reality. The height of the thing is well, if you say nirgunam Brahma, that is enough. But you say every other thing is mithya also. Whatever is sagunam is mithya. That he cannot tolerate. You know, that is I mean, because it's a direct punch on his philosophy. So he and you can understand now the attribute and substance. I mean, this kind of a relationship is there, supported, and therefore attribute always rests in a substance, and therefore you won't find any substance in the creation free from attributes, and therefore everything is sagunam, including Ishvara. So Saguna Ishvara, Saguna Brahma is possible. No Nirguna Brahma. Okay. And several attributes. Smell is an attribute, and taste is an attribute, and color is an attribute. And several things are attribute. Okay. Now now you keep the chart ready. Okay. Now let's first we say, let us take this is my left hand and this is my right hand. Consider this an attribute. Left hand is an attribute. Right hand is a substance. And as per your definition, then definitely that attribute rests in a substance. So let's say like this, right? This is a ashraya, supporter or supporting, and this is a substance. Right hand is a substance, and this is ashraya, ashrita, a property which is supported. So this is how the thing is. Anyway, we are asking him, tell us what is the nature of the substance. This is attribute, rest in a substance, correct. But what is the nature of the substance? Will you accept that substance free from attributes or with attributes? Could you follow what I am saying? This is attribute, resting in a substance. Now, that's correct. That attribute rests in a substance. But we would like to know the nature of the substance. That substance is a nirgunam or sagunam, free from attribute or without, or with attribute. What is the thing? So, and that is what I have shown in a stage number 1. Just check. Stage number 1. So, A1 attribute. So, S means substance and A means attribute. Okay? And it has been shown as A1, some attribute. Let's call it A1. So, A1 attribute rest in a substance, right? Rest in a substance. That substance is free from attribute or with attribute. Let's take first possibility. Substance is free from attributes. Substance is without attribute. That's how a minus sign is shown. S minus A. Minus means without. Substance is without attribute. In such a substance, this A1 attribute rests like that. Now, we say if you say the substance which is free from attribute or without attributes means what? It is nirgunam, right? Attribute means guna. So that substance is nirgunam on which this A1 attribute is going to rest. If that substance is nirgunam, well, you are accepting nirgunam thing. In your philosophy, you said there is nothing called nirgunam, and therefore, that itself is a contradiction. Or else, if you say that substance, it is without attribute. If substance is a nirgunam, then how can is a guna rest in a nirgunam? Right? Any guna cannot rest in a nirgunam. That itself is a contradiction. I have told you at that time. Then person was telling me that, Swamiji, I am observing Maunam since 10 years. He is telling me. So that itself is a big contradiction. When the person says that I am observing a silence since 10 years, itself is a contradiction. Where is a Maunam if he is telling me? Where is a Maunam? Where is the silence? And therefore this is called Vadato Vyaghata. While you speak, there is a contradiction. So when you say attribute rest in a guna rest in a nirgunam vastu, not possible. Both the ways, nirgunam you are not accepting, and still you say nirgunam is there. Well, and then you say that on nirgunam vastu, the attribute rest, that itself is a contradiction. So first dosha is called Vyaghata or contradiction. That's the first possibility. Stage 1A. Clear? No, he says. No. That substance is it is not nirguna. That substance is with guna. That substance is saguna with guna. So second possibility, S plus A. Now if you say the substance is with guna, we would like to know that particular substance which is already having a guna, that is the same guna, the supporting guna, that is the same guna in which the other guna is going to rest. A1 guna or attribute which is going to rest in a substance with already guna is there, that guna is the same guna or a different guna. A1 is going to rest in a substance with A1 attribute itself, or A1 is going to rest in a substance with different guna, A2 attributes. So this is how the two possibilities are open. So if A1 is going to rest in a substance with the same guna, that is not possible. Why? Because A1 attribute cannot be related with the another attribute which is same attribute. The supporting attribute and the supporter, the supported attribute, both cannot be one. There cannot be a relationship between same thing. Like I am related to myself. It's a wrong thing. In any relationship, at least two things are there. Right? But if I say, let's take another example. Book is a supported. Table is a supporter. Well, that is okay. I can say book rests on a table. That's okay. But book rests on itself. That is how it is possible. I can sit on my own lap. How are you possible? It is not possible. So, supporting and supported are different things. That is how the relationship is possible between them. So, even the attribute which is going to rest in a substance with an attribute, that if it is the same attribute, then it is not possible. Same attribute, because there will be relationship of supported attribute and supporting attribute. Well, that relationship requires both should be different. If both are A1, well, same, means that is not possible. No. That is a different attribute. So, A1 attribute is going to rest in a substance with a different attribute. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, that the first stage, second possibility, he has a dosha that's called self-dependence, right? And that I have already told you. Book takes a support of itself, not possible. Book takes a support of a table, possible. Book takes its own support, not possible. Sitting in one's own lap, not possible. That's called Atmashraya dosha. Self-dependence. When you say I am dependent, you definitely depend on something other than you. And therefore, that kind of a relationship is not possible. Self-dependence is a dosha. Then, he said, no. To make himself free from the dosha, he says, it's a different attribute. The supporting attribute is different and supported attribute is different. Supported attribute is A1, supporting attribute is A2. Substance will be always there. Without, attribute cannot be just a support. It will not be supporting without substance. And therefore, S plus A2 is a supporting, and in which A1 is going to rest. Okay. Then we will have to go to the next stage now. We say that A2 attribute which you are thinking as a supporting attribute, A1 is going to take a support of that. That's okay. But that A2 attribute is going to rest in a substance. A2 attribute, you are saying that S plus A2 means A2 attribute is resting on the substance, right? S. That A2 attribute is resting on a substance S. That S substance is free from attribute or with attributes. So we will have to come to the next stage. Swamiji, but if we are not able to follow you, then what will happen? Nothing will happen, I tell you. No problem at all to your moksha. Don't worry at all. But as I told you, because of our, of our joint prarabdha, we are going through this. And therefore, well, if you understand, it's fine. And if you want to understand, you can raise a question anytime. That is also, you are welcome. But supposing you say, well, this is too much, Swamiji, this is too much. Okay, then you can give it up. But just enjoy it. That how I am struggling for all this, that you enjoy my struggle at least. Anyway, so this A2 attribute, which is there in the substance, naturally supported. A2 attribute also is a supported. Substance is a supporter or supporting. That substance, please tell us, forget about A1 now. Forget about A1, which is going to rest. We are interested in that S plus A2. A2 attribute is taking a support of the substance S. Now we would like to know that substance is free from attribute or with attributes. So you can see now in the second stage, first A2 attribute is resting in S, substance. Well, he says, well, that substance is without attributes, S minus A. If A2 attribute is taking support of a substance free from attributes, yeah, it is free from attributes. Its nature is free from, it is nirgunam, yeah, it is nirgunam. How can a nirgunam thing, can it take it can become a supporter or supporting for guna? Nirgunam thing, how can it be, because its nature is nirguna. Nature means it cannot give it up. And therefore, nirgunam thing can never become a supporter or supporting, whatever, for guna. And therefore, well, you said A2 resting in substance without attribute or nirgunam, well, that is contradiction. Nirgunam vastu cannot be a supporter of a guna. To say itself is a contradiction, like saying that I am observing silence. So it is contradiction. Oh no, that substance is with attributes. So A2 attribute is going to rest in a substance with attributes. It is sagunam. Nirgunam, we understood. Nirgunam thing cannot become a supporter of a guna. Any guna. Here we are talking about A2 now. Well, but it is sagunam. Nirgunam, we are not saying nirgunam. Okay, so come to the B stage 2B. Well, A2 attribute is taking a support of a substance with already attribute A1, some other attribute. So if A2 is taking a support of a substance with attribute A1, then it will be a mutual dependence. Why? Why mutual dependence? Well, because you, in the previous stage, in stage 1, you see the C possibility. What is the C possibility? A1 attribute is resting in a substance with A2 attribute. Right? A1 attribute is taking a support of a sagunam, but that guna is a different attribute, A2. So A1 is taking a support of a A2 attribute. Here you are taking a A2 attribute is taking a support of a A1 attribute. Then it is what? Mutual dependence. And mutual dependence is always dosha even in the Vyavara. Mutual dependence is a dosha. If I come to you and tell that, well, I have given my car for some repair and other things, for color and everything, so I need your car for a week. Oh, I was about to come to your place. I have given my car. And I thought I will take your car for 1 week and you have come to my place. So mutual dependence is not possible. If I tell you, well, I definitely, I'm in need of some $5,000 and that's how I have come to you, etc., etc. Oh, I was about to come to your place. I needed, actually at this time I need $10,000 and I thought you will be able to give me. Ho gaya kaam. So mutual dependence will never work. You want to depend. That is what the marriage is. Marriage problem. Just by the way, marriage problem is this problem. For a security, I am dependent upon the other person. That person, bachelor, he is doing a good job and he's a bachelor, and he feels that how long I can live alone like this. Who will be there if I get some fever and some pandemic situation, this thing happened, that thing happened, who will take care of me? Therefore let me marry. And he thought that well, I will become more secure if I marry. And the one who marries, that girl, she feels she is equally insecure. So she feels that if I marry to this boy, I will become secure. Boy feels that I will become secure if I marry to this girl. Habba. And that's how it never worked. That is how it never worked. For mutual dependence for happiness, mutual dependence for security, mutual dependence for peace never works, sir. Never works. The only solution is you should be able to give security to others. That is where the success is. You should be able to give peace in others' life. You should be able to give happiness in others' life. That is the only way of acquiring happiness. That is the only way of acquiring happiness, is by giving happiness. Really. Nothing worse. Otherwise, this mutual dependence means it's a collapse actually. Socially, it may not be a collapse in India especially. People won't give easily the divorce, etc., as easy in United States. But what I'm saying is, it never works. Especially this thing, keep a list. For these things, I won't be dependent on anybody. What? Security, peace and happiness. Well, I won't be dependent. For running a life, everyone is dependent. That also you cannot avoid. If someone says that, well, I'm not dependent on anybody. Well, that's a wrong thing of saying. For running your life, starting from taking oxygen, etc., and everything, you are dependent on the world and people and everything. World means actually people and a lot of other things also. So basically, that's okay. So mutual dependence is a dosha. What I want to convey is a dosha. So now let's go to make him free from that dosha. He says no. A2 attribute is resting in a substance, sagunam only. Nirgunam we cannot talk at all. Okay. But A2 attribute is resting in a substance having a same attribute. Well, that's the same problem. The supporting attribute was also same to the supported attribute. Both are same. Supported and supporting attribute is one. Well, there cannot be relationship. One thing cannot be a supported and that same thing becomes supporting or supporter. Supported relationship, definitely. Well, both the things are, that relationship is possible when both are different. And that is dosha. Taking the support of oneself, that's a dosha. So we call Atma Ashraya. Ashraya means a supporter. Atma, self. So basically self-dependence is a dosha. That we have already checked, see that. If you see, in stage 1, B possibility, we have already seen that dosha. Atma. As I gave you example also, I am sitting in my own lap, etc. Well, I am standing on my own shoulder. This is another way of saying somebody standing on my own. I am standing on my own shoulder. Well, you can stand on somebody's shoulder. That's what people do also. That's a different thing. Even Vedantins do. Really, I just for a sake of joke. Vedantins, they are very smart people that way. So we have only two things, Atma, Anatma, and Satya, Mithya, and etc. etc. Only few things we revel into. For whatever other things, so far creation is there, and so far so many things are there. We definitely take a lot of things from science also, and negating the science and taking support of the science also. So we take so many things from Sankhya. I told you in the morning, so creation is concerned, we sometime, since the creation is mithya, any model is good for me. If somebody says no, instead of 5 elements, there are 10 elements, suppose somebody says, tomorrow somebody comes out and says no, not 5. We have discovered another 5 elements. Like in science, there is a periodic table. So a periodic table has 100 and in those days when we studied, at that time I think we were having 110 or some 115 elements. And they keep on discovering. Scientists are discovering new elements in the creation. Anyway, if suppose somebody comes that not 5 elements, that earth, water and this fire and all this 5. Instead of that, we have discovered another 5 elements. So the whole creation is made up of not 5 elements but 10 elements. Oh, we don't have any problem. We don't have any problem. 10 elements. Ultimately, we are going to put in a basket, and therefore, whatever you say, you keep saying it. Nothing to worry. So, but how can you say like that, Swamiji? Because in the Upanishad itself, there is no one model. Really. In Chandogya, there are only three elements. They say our whole creation is made up of 3 elements. They have swallowed totally Akasha and Vayu. Totally. They don't bother, they don't mention at all. And in Taittiriya, all the 5 elements. Tasmadva etasmad atmanaha akasha sambhutaha akasha and Vayu, etc. And you keep both the Upanishad aside and you go to 3rd Upanishad, Prashnopanishad. Whole creation is talked about. No element, Rai and Prana. So, whole creation has come with the association of the Rai and Prana. And Rai and Prana means, don't think Swamiji, but Rai and Prana means that element only. That's your interpretation, sir. That's a different thing. They all the time, they discuss something different. Anyway, what I am saying is, so Upanishad itself have no consistency for so far as the creation is concerned. Then why not we adopt a model of Sankhya also, or a scientific model also? Why not? We can adopt. Why not? Ultimately, the creation is not there at all. But for the sake of discussion, and a person who has entered into the entered into the Vedanta, he won't accept. If you right away, if you say that there is no creation, you only are there in this, he will not come in the next class, I tell you. He will not come. It is not that simple. If you tell a person who is constantly smoking, a chain smoker, if you right away on his face, if you tell smoking is injurious to health and it will definitely cause a cancer, don't think he will leave smoking. He will leave you. He will leave you. I tell you. Understand this. Right away you cannot tell. You have to prepare a person. You have to go along with the person. That is what Veda does. Veda does, Veda, even though the culmination of the Veda is this Brahman only, that's an essence. Vedanta, that's how Vedanta we say. We don't like to say culmination of knowledge, etc. That's not fair. But Vedanta is at the end, and that is the real Purushartha also it talks about. Veda talks about that. And Brahman alone, from which everything has come, alone is its essence. But, well, if you enter into Veda, the very first page, well, they says, Sir, how can I help you? Sir, how can I help you? In our police station in India, some of the police stations keep this kind of a model, board. And so as you enter into the police station, there is a board there. How can I help you? And so, same way Veda also tells, how can I help? Oh, I want a girl in a marriage, good girl in a marriage, or good boy in a marriage, who is having all ethical values and this and that, and he must be handsome and this. No problem, sir. Come in. And then he will take you and he will show you the sadhana. And then other thing. And then you are tempted. And you are tempted. And you are tempted. And you are tempted. And slowly it will lead you to the fencing. It will lead you to the fencing where you have to cross and enter into Vedanta. But so Veda has to go along with you all the way. Otherwise, that is how they argue. If you say that everything is Brahman, and therefore karma has a no role, karaka has a no role, there is no karta, there is no karma, there is no prayojanam, there is no svarga, everything you are telling, mithya, karta is mithya, this is mithya, that is mithya, brahmarpanam, brahmahavihi, brahmagnav, brahmanahutam, everything is Brahman, then what about our karma kanda? Karma Kanda is 12,000 pages are there, and your Upanishad or 18 mantras of Ishavasya is just one page. So do you think our 12,999 pages we have to turn off? Very, very beautiful question they ask. We say, but why are you worrying? We are not on your pages. We are not. So we make the person prepared through karma. That is what the karma yoga is. So we prepare a person. So that is how basically, I mean, so far as Vedantin is concerned, I'm come to the main point now. So Vedantin is concerned, we adopt other than what is Satyam and Mithya. Other than that, what is essence of Jiva, what is essence of Jagat, what is essence of Ishvara? Well, that is a non-dual Brahman, etc. Other than that, any other thing, creation or other things are there. And so far karmas are there, karma phalas are there, prarabdha is there, bodies are there, punarjanmas are there, purva janmas are there. We all adopt from the purva mimamsa, karma. And creation, etc. is there. We can go even to Sankhyas also. Many things we have adopted from Nayayikas. Believe me, all our Anuman Vakyas we are using, all we have adopted from Nayayikas. We don't have any, we have not developed such systems. Nayayika have a very sophisticated system of inference. And then there are stages in the inference, etc. So what I am saying is ultimately, for so far as creation is concerned, I mean, we have adopted several models. So anyway, here what is in the stage 2C is that A2 attribute is resting in a same attribute, A2. Then well, that is called self-dependence, and that is problem. Oh, he said no, that A2 attribute rests in a substance with a not A1, because if you say A1 then you say mutual dependence. If you say A2 attribute then you say self-dependence. Then no, some new attribute. A2 attribute is going to rest in a substance with a new attribute called A3. Oh, then what to do? Well, we'll have to wait till tomorrow. So, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.